the streets, the trenches, man. From the bottom, from nothing. I'm talking about water and cornflakes. I don't care if we spar or we fight. Let's get it on.
What's up, man? What's up, Sam? You okay?
I'm going to physically, burn it.
I'm telling you, this state never gets a fair share.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
Because when it's all said and done, there's only two Mayweather that count. Roger Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather. And motherfucker, I'm not no junior.
Tyson was asked during the fight week of Mayweather-Pacquiao what he thought about Floyd's comments on saying he was greater than Muhammad Ali.
What do you think about Floyd talking about greater than Ali?
He's very delusional. He can't listen. If he was anywhere near that realm of greater than Ali, he'd be able to take his kids to school by himself.
Tyson, who is an incredible boxing historian,
the government made a law to trap Jack Johnson. It was called the Mann Act, and they used it to catch Jack Johnson, and that was the law, is taking women beyond the state line for immoral purposes, and that's what he got arrested for. But how could you not, being ostracized your whole entire life? His mother was a slave, his father was a slave. He has came a long way in life. He's a really remarkable man.
Looked up to Ali and was one of his best friends, took this to offense.
Greatness is not guarding yourself from the people. Greatness is being accepted by the people. He can't take his kids alone to school by himself. He's a little scared man. He's a very small, scared man.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
We find out what greatness is. Greatness is not necessarily accomplishments, but how you deal with adversity. I'm just always watching him, learning. One day I'll be in that situation, and I'd like to see how I will handle that. Will I handle it as graceful as he would, or will I just be a
Since Hopkins was not supposed to get to where he was at that point in his career and defied the powers that be, and came in as one of the best, a real wild card among the talent in the division.
That's enough. Yes. That's enough.
He saw a lot of corruption in the sport and how he was being played behind closed doors.
And a lot of corruption that's in boxing, and I'm willing to take a stand as a champion. Roy Jones Jr. is a great fighter, but somehow he don't have the same champion style or same champion character when he step out of the ring and stand up for fighters that's being mistreated and being exploited as whores. It's a shame that fighters go in the ring that don't even have life insurance, and they go in the ring like me and Mr. Allen and risk our lives for something we love. The structure of the business is taking advantage of everybody that's on my side as a fighter, not on my side as agreeing with me, but on my side as an athlete. I am the athlete. I'm on the other side of the table.
A frustrated Hopkins took full advantage of the extra airtime on Showtime since he finished the fight early to address these issues and called out the media.
Talk about the fight first, Bernard.
It took 9 months. The fight is not really important.
Well, it is to our audience. It is to our audience.
I knew I could beat this guy.
Particularly after the first fight. Just talk about Robert Allen and what went on in the second round.
When the politics put me on the shelf for 9 months waiting for a mandatory that's supposed to took place in 90 days after January 31st of 1998, and it didn't take place until August. You tell me, is it corruption in the sport? And then you tell me, let's talk about Robert Allen? That fight is over with. It's done. That's tomorrow. It's you and the other people in the industry that sits back and see, not criticize. And I'm not saying that you are the fault. I'm saying that you are outside looking in. Y'all know what goes on in the sport.
Bernard, you had to say it your piece, but a lot of people out there who would be listening to this would say, you don't have to fight. You don't have to be taken advantage of. You don't have to go along with the system if you're unhappy with it.
Listen what I'm saying. That when things happen, doesn't mean that if I'm not happy with it, that don't mean I should quit and get out of business because I'm not happy with it. I'm a guy that stand up for what's right. And there's a lot of people that's in their graves and got assassinated for standing up for what they believe is right. You might have thought they were silly for doing it. I don't know your opinion on that.
No, I'm asking questions.
Hold up,
I'm not giving you an opinion.
You telling me I shouldn't be in this sport if I don't agree with the laws and the politics that goes in the sport, and I say you're wrong. I say that's the problem.
What are you going to do to change it?
I can't do nothing in one day, but what I can do by being hold up. This is very important about my power. By being the middleweight champion of the world, one of the best in the world. If you don't want to listen, you would give me that time. That's the reason you're doing this interview now. Thank you.
A while back, I had someone translate this to me because I didn't understand why Chavez was so mad. So after Chavez's rematch with Oscar De La Hoya, Chavez was having his post-fight interview in the locker room. The translator at that time with HBO is Puerto Rican. Now, I don't speak Spanish, but I do know some words may vary in meaning just based on dialect and slang, just like Japanese. Someone from Osaka their dialect of Japanese is completely different from an Okinawan dialect. I had my grandmother, an Okinawan, help me with my homework. The teacher from Tokyo marked a lot wrong, and some words he didn't even know. I had to break the news to him that I didn't do the homework. She did, and once he found out where she was from, he understood. Luckily, I didn't get in trouble, and I learned my lesson. That all being said, Larry was carefully using his words not to offend Chavez.
We can remember when you made outstanding fighter like Mayweather quit the fight. It seemed to us that in this fight, De La Hoya made you quit in the corner. Are you disappointed in that, or did your handlers not allow you to come out?
But the translator was not on the same page and used a direct translation in his dialect using the word rajastas, which translates to Chavez's dialect, pussied out, an incredibly offensive word to use on a guy like Chavez, and Chavez flipped out.
Bullshit!
Espera.
Okay? Bullshit!
Él está diciendo, te está
Yo no me rajé, no,
preguntando.
tú tampoco, ¿no? ¿Qué?
No, te está diciendo él.
Suéltame la mano.
No.
Okay.
Que si le
Yo nunca me rajé.
No, eso es lo que te
tú
pregunta.
shut up. Okay. Tú no estás transmitiendo,
Eso es lo que
no
pregunta.
estás traduciendo lo que yo estoy diciendo, ¿ok?
So I explained in my most outstanding performance by a referee video. Both guys are incredibly rough how they fight, stylistically. Some may say dirty. Either way, as stated before the match by the HBO crew, Jack Reese has his hands full tonight, and he sure did from the opening bell. This is make or break here, and if the referee does not get the respect from the fighters, they're just gonna run all over him, which it almost got to that as Reese was trying to break up both guys and got punched in the process. Reese had had enough, and he was completely disrespected by both fighters.
Go in that corner. Go in the corner. Time out.
To bring order back in the ring, he paused the match, told officials he was struck,
I got hit. You gotta take a second.
The ref said he got hit.
I got intentional fouls.
then penalized Rodriguez and Ward 2 points. There is a clear reason why he penalized both guys 2 points. The next offense that happens will result into a disqualification, and neither will receive their purse.
I am not going to allow this. You're instigating a lot of this, and I'm not putting up with it. Not only that, you're hitting me, okay? Andre, I'm not going to allow this, okay? This is what I got. Stay right there. We're not done. Stay right there. 2 points. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Stop. I know, relax. I'd like to find both of them. You determine what it is.
This was Ward's comeback fight after being out with a shoulder injury, so you know he will like to have some of that money back. I don't care how rich you are, a capital loss like that hurts. And Rodriguez loses his career high $800,000 purse, which it originally was $1 million, but he didn't make weight, so $200K of that went to Ward. Either way, he was losing a life-changing purse if the silly roughhousing keeps up.
Okay, I just want you both to know I've recommended fines. If I have to disqualify you guys, nobody's getting paid. We understand each other? We understand? Okay, knock this shit off. Okay, go back.
And you didn't hear a peep from those guys the rest of the match. Nothing but clean boxing, straightforward to the end. A lot on the line for this fight. Whoever wins goes on to fight Lennox Lewis. Chavez was on his way, making a third successful defense of his EBU title when French and English fans began fighting each other at the beginning of the 12th round.
And I'm afraid these are the kind of scenes we do not want. We now have, these are the kind of scenes that are an absolute disgrace, of course. Boxing definitely doesn't need this. Now Williams and Chavez getting together and they're saying, look, we're mates. We might be having a fight in there for a title and there's mutual respect between the fighters. Now that's good to see. That's a sensible example to show to the crowd and things.
The officials almost literally threw out the fight altogether, but luckily they decided to let it go on. The fight finished and Chavez won by unanimous decision. During the height of the fight to free South Africans, Don King joined a boycott organization led by Arthur Ashe called Artists and Athletes Against the Apartheid. While doing that, King is doing the complete opposite of showing his support and being a role model by trying to get one of his fighters to fight in South Africa.
How did Don justify your fighting in South Africa?
First, he wanted me to go. He wanted me to go. He said, "This is a big opportunity for you, fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world." And I said, "Nah, but a whole lot of people gonna be mad at me, and I wouldn't want that." So I got up, and I started walking downstairs, and Don came right behind me. Oh, he said, "I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Teddy Bear, what you did." He said, "That's the right thing you did, turn the fight down going to South Africa." And I'm saying, yeah, right. Yeah.
Stated by the IBF president, South African promoter reportedly paid Don King $1 million to have the fight there.
Bob Lee is president of the International Boxing Federation.
Well, according to the promoter in South Africa, he paid Don King $1 million for that fight.
Word reached home, and Arthur Ashe forced Don King to resign from the organization. Don King was called out by the immoral business practices in South Africa and flipped.
We made 3 appointments with you to give you another thing. As far as I'm concerned, you're a scumbag. I don't have no use for you at all. You may be the greatest and you think you're the greatest, but to me, to you as a man to man, you are nothing. You are dirt, and I just walk around you to keep them stepping in. So you don't have to worry about me. So I don't have no use for you, Jack Newfield. I thought I could do it at an arm's length transaction. But for a scumbag like you, Jack Newfield, that is prejudice. You don't have no right to do what you do.
The reporter that called him out got his press credentials revoked.
Take this man's tape out of his camera.
The argument spilled out into the hallway when King's men tried to take the videotape out of our camera.
No, I want the tape out of this camera. This is a private property.
Then to be threatened by Don King's son.
King's stepson Carl also tried to intervene.
I ain't gonna be as nice as my father.
Murat was picking a bone with referee Steve Smoger the whole night. I don't think I've seen a ref so fed up and irritated with someone.
Hands as we go to round 6, and there was a right
chance to jump right back on him and test his stamina at his age.
You're on the edge of getting thrown out of here. It's enough of your shit.
At the end of the 12th, Murat had the audacity to use some of the most blatant headbutts in boxing history since like Mayweather-Ortiz. And Smoger had enough and straight up shoves Murat in the face, which I'm pretty sure that's illegal, but who cares? He deserved it, every bit of it.
And he'd also hit. Yeah, and also oh my, okay. Steve Smoger.
Bellew didn't take Flores' unnecessary way of promoting the fight too kindly.
He said he's been calling you out on social media. For 2 years he's been following me, talking nonsense, and then all he said is nice things since he's got here. He's lulling everybody into a false sense of security. BJ Flores isn't this nice guy that he's trying to paint out he is. He's a clown and a mouthy idiot from over the water.
And made easy work of him. The real drama that was brewing was between Bellew and Haye. Right after finishing Flores off, Bellew made a beeline to Haye and started to call him out, then to jump out of the ring. After Bellew cooled down, during the post-fight interview, Bellew laid it all down and burns Haye pretty bad.
He's been conning the British public since this pathetic comeback of his. Them 2 guys you fought last 2 were a joke, and you're robbing everybody who pays to come in the arena.
This was just too good. The WWE wishes it can be this natural in calling out opponents. This is top tier trash talking that you can't write in any script. Just beautiful.
I smashed your buddy, your playmate, your playboy, your nightclub buddy, and I will smash you the exact same way. He's going to heavyweight because he loves money and he loves big paydays. Well, brother, I'm the biggest payday you can get hold of right now, so bitch, we better do it soon.
So this is just wild. Lopez stops Vasquez in the 11th round in a rather exciting fight to be later forgotten when Lopez runs over and begins to fight the trainer. The fight gets broken up, and Lopez should have stopped there, but he doesn't. He then runs up and tries to fight the trainer again. This time, the trainer is more prepared and doesn't have someone to hold him down, gets some huge haymakers in, buckling Lopez before it was ultimately split up for good. And on top of that, this is when boxing gets personal part 5. For more installations, be sure to like, share, and if you're new, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram for more video updates, edits, memes, whatever. I'm Alphas Honcho, and I'm out.